Amanda Knox details why she called out Matt Damon movie Stillwater. "I'm still living with the consequences." Knox was wrongfully convicted of her roommate's murder in 2007. After denouncing the Matt Damon movie Stillwater in a recent Twitter thread, Amanda Knox explained why she spoke out about the movie that was inspired by her real-life case. Stillwater director Tom McCarthy has previously said that the movie is inspired by the 34-year-old who, along with Rafael Sollecito, was twice convicted and later acquitted in the 2007 murder of Knox's roommate, Meredith Kercher, in Perugia, Italy. The film sees Damon, 50, play a father whose daughter finds herself in a similar situation and follows his quest to prove her innocence. Knox, however, issued a viral Twitter thread earlier this month in which she denounced the film for further linking her name to a murder case she had nothing to do with, as well as making audiences believe, albeit through a fictional story, that she was indeed linked to the murder of her roommate. Speaking to Variety, Knox explained why she felt it was necessary to go after Damon and McCarthy over their handling of her story in Stillwater. "Wrongful convictions don't just happen to the individual. They happen to a whole network of human beings who love this person and know that they are innocent and fight for their innocence," she explained. Knox went on to note that the movie's decision to make the character she inspired somewhat culpable in the murder meant that the lines between reality and fiction weren't blurred in a responsible way, making it hard for her not to feel like Damon and McCarthy were opening wounds she's worked hard to put behind her. "I don't think that the filmmakers can honestly say that they went far enough away from my case so that it wouldn't be recognizably my case," she told the outlet. "And I think that that's clear in all of the coverage where everyone's like, oh, this is recognizably the Amanda Knox case. And from that audiences can then draw conclusions about me, whether or not those conclusions are accurate or not." She added, "The question that Tom McCarthy really has to ask himself is it responsible to keep recycling that same story when we know what the consequences of that can be?" She notes that, although she doesn't think this movie could in any way reopen her case, it renews the public perception that she has something to do with the crime. In her viral Twitter thread, Knox noted that the case is still referred to as the Amanda Knox case rather than the murder of Meredith Kercher by Rudy Gied. Gied was convicted of Kercher's murder in a separate trial in 2008. Knox concluded her thoughts on calling out Stillwater by noting that she does not plan to litigate in any way, but merely hopes to start a conversation among the public, and even have one herself with the filmmakers, about the consequences of further adaptations of her case. "There's been this ongoing idea that, well, as long as we call it fiction, then no one would honestly apply the ideas or feelings or conclusions that I bring with my imagination to the story to the real person," she explained. "And that's simply not true," Knox continued. "Especially when you're looking at people like myself who continue to be brought up with a question mark, you deciding to tell that story in your own way is going to be adding to the ledger of how people understand and define me as a human being. And then Matt Damon and the director can walk away with a great story in their pocket, but meanwhile, I'm still living with the consequences of people thinking that I am somehow involved in this crime that I am not involved in."